feel like the holograph on Holly on Red Dwarf. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. How are you doing? You okay? You ready? You are ready?
Thanks so much for coming. That's amazing. Thank you.
We have before us one of the great sentence writers of the English language. Sentences that he wrote many years ago still haunt me. I used to have a big flying jacket, and I never once put it on without saying, "Smoke me a kid, skipper. I'll be back for breakfast." And I also remember a great moment of somebody saying, "Red alert!" and saying, "You sure it'll mean changing the light bulb?"
I know, that's my favourite line.
That is a brilliant line. And this book is packed with amazing invention. It's like so many little things in this book, like the Pixipedia, the regression stone, and above all, the Russian nesting doll.
Okay.
But we'll come to all that. I think you should maybe give us a little summary of where...
Of the book? Sure. So basically, the book is set in an orphanage for wayward boys and girls, where at the end of each school year, the 4 worst behaved kids are banished to Sinbin Island, where they have to survive for a week with just bread and water. And there's a rumour that the island, in days gone by, was used by smugglers to ferry treasure onto mainland England, including magical artefacts in this treasure. But the tunnel has never been found, and neither is the treasure. The school was founded by a privateer, which is sort of like a legal pirate. It's someone who has a letter of marque from the government, which allows them to plunder enemy ships and keep what they steal. So he's founded the school, and a lot of the things that he insisted when he founded it be put on the curriculum he thought were important at the time. So the school kids are taught how to fire cannons and sword fight, and poetry isn't allowed, nor is algebra. So I'm certainly behind him on the algebra one. So that's basically what it's
I mean, one of the things I love most about it is the names of the lessons.
Oh,
so there's not tying.
Yes. That's art, which is advanced rope tying.
Oh yeah, you're brilliant at making up little, what's it called? Acronyms that are misinterpreted.
Yes.
So
yes.
art is the art.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was going to ask you something about that. So that world of like a school, and it's like there's a lot of schools in kids' books.
Yes.
Chalet School, there's Hogwarts.
Yes.
There's the camp in Percy Jackson.
Yes.
But the idea of a school where kids are basically learning the core curriculum is piracy.
Yes.
In the 21st century.
That's quite unusual, isn't it?
Yes, pretty great. and one of the things that we were talking about before is on the way, we've been obsessively talking about this, but on the way in is that there's a school bully. Well, there are lots of school bullies.
Yeah.
And the school is quite a tough school.
Yes.
But one of the bullies becomes nice.
Yes.
Noah is nice.
Yes, redemption. Yes.
But is it redemption through flogging and lashing? Because as well as going to Sinbin Island, you can get lashed.
Yes.
You can be made to walk the plank.
Yes.
It's a very...
I think...
It's not kindly.
No, it's not kindly. Well, in Noah's case, it kind of worked. I think because he was forced to... He was actually forced to look at, because he admired pirates, and pirates were quite democratic, and they didn't tolerate bullying, and everyone got a fair share of anything that was plundered. So although we think they're just robbers, in fact, a lot of them came from ships, legitimate ships, in the Royal Navy at the time, where they were treated terribly. The food was terrible. They were low paid, the conditions were awful, and actually it was a step up, weirdly, to become a pirate, where you got a much fairer deal and a better cut of the money, plunder.
There is a day in the week when they have to eat pirate food.
Yes, there is.
Which is not good.
No. So that is basically so you appreciate school food. Which is a hard one, I know. So yes, so they have to eat pirate food. They have to eat it with a dagger and a spoon, which is what the pirates used to have. It's food that's can survive on a ship for up to a year, maybe 2 years in some cases. So it's often pork, salted pork, so it survives, and hard bread. So it's not the best food.
So you've done loads of pirate research for this book.
I did. I have to say I did enjoy doing that pirate research.
Did you spend too long researching?
Well, that's always the thing, yes. Yeah, and then you want to get too much, you'd be in. And it was the same on the island. There was a whole elaborate thing that you can make to start fires. And I thought, oh, this is fascinating, I didn't know about this. And then I spent 3 pages describing it. And then I thought, oh, it's a bit long, and then I cut it down, and then I thought, no, we'll just have a lighter. One of them can have a lighter, we saved 3 pages.
But you had a good time.
Yeah.
So what's the weirdest pirate fact?
Well, there was one I discovered was that in Devon, no jury would ever convict anyone for smuggling because they were all in the smuggling business. They were all smugglers. They were all, either hiding it or helping it to be sold. So you were absolutely safe if you were nicked in Devon as a smuggler. You never got found guilty.
You're very pernickety in the book about the difference between smuggling and piracy, though.
Yes, and I was trying to make smugglers.
That's when I could tell you'd done lots of research, because you were like, well, smuggling's neat.
Yeah, smugglers, yes.
Very different.
I know. I didn't want smugglers killing anyone. I'm sure they probably were. I'm sure they did. But these smugglers didn't. They were good smugglers.
If you think of the beginning of Narnia,
yes,
he started with that idea of like a fawn meeting a girl,
yeah,
got a basket of shopping.
Yeah.
None of that adds up. Word,
no, right.
yes. Mr. Thomas, buy a tin of sardines. Where's the sardine tin factory in Narnia?
Right.
In fact, where are the sardines?
They're here. Right.
Umbrella?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Where?
Right.
Where?
Right.
But, so he obviously had no clue where it was going, but it's completely perfect. Everything about it's brilliant. So he's on the adventure.
Yes.
With you. So you were on the adventure with us, were you?
That's right. And Stephen King says, if you know everything that's going to happen, there's no joy in writing it. You don't discover anything. It's sort of like you're writing a book that's already written.
Yeah, just like colouring by numbers.
Yeah.
So do you know the Stephen King story that you couldn't finish?
No.
Do you want me to tell you this?
Yeah.
This is amazing, right? Guy's in an airport with his wife. She goes into the toilet. He goes into the toilet. He waits for her outside the toilet, as men do outside women's toilets, waiting for their daughters or wives or whatever to come out. She doesn't come out for ages, right? Somebody else stands next to him, and his wife's gone in. She doesn't come out. Another guy comes, his wife's gone in, she doesn't come out. They realise there's somebody already waiting, gone in, never come out. These women go into the toilet, and they never come out. And so they get security, and they go in, they don't come out. This is, I've no idea how to finish that story. Isn't that the best? All due respect.
Yeah.
But that's up there with Russian dolls to me. Yeah.
That's a great start.
Would you like to read a little bit? Because
yes.
I don't think we're getting over how brilliantly funny this book is.
Okay, can I actually just have my phone, because I'll do it easier. Because I can do. Thank you.
I could tell you the Stephen King story again.
Yeah. Okay. Where is it?
You're really great.
Okay, I've got it. Okay, I'm going to... Right, okay, found it now. I'm going to read you a scene where 2 of the gang meet for the first time. Dick's 13, he's driving to the orphanage with his family solicitor, Mr. Menton, when their car drives over broken glass in the road and they get a flat tyre. They pull into a car park of a derelict pub called Smuggler's End, where another car has a flat tyre too. To avoid standing in the rain, Mr. Menton suggests Diggs shelters in Smuggler's End while he changes the tyre. Diggs ducked through the broken door and stepped inside. The pub smelt of stale beer and musty cellars. He walked through the gloom, shining his torch. A piece of driftwood hung from the ceiling. Smugglers beware, ghosts lives here. He heard a creak behind him and span round. An apparition in a shawl hovered in the doorway, and the room became ice cold. Diggs had to remind himself his mum had told him ghosts didn't exist, but she'd also told him he'd come top in French. The apparition moved towards him. What should he do? It seemed to Diggs it was a toss-up between A, screaming and running off, or B, not screaming to save a bit of time and running off. He was still weighing this up when the apparition spoke. "Hi," the apparition said. "Blooming freezing in here, isn't it?" Diggs wasn't an apparition expert, but he was pretty sure apparitions didn't say hi and complain about the cold. Apparitions, he was fairly certain, if they existed at all, were a bit more ghosty. They'd say something like, "Ooh, I am the ghost of Obadiah Black," or just, "Ooh." While he was thinking about this, the apparition took another step into the room and became lit by a gunshot of moonlight arrowing through the window. It turned out the apparition wasn't an apparition at all. It was in fact a girl of about Diggs's age and about Diggs's height. A smile spread across her face like spilt honey. "Did you think I was a ghost?" Diggs blushed all the way down to his feet. In fact, if someone had been standing next to him, Diggs's blush was so huge it would probably have turned them bright red too. "Of course not," he lied. "I knew you were a person straight away by the fact that you're person-shaped." "Good spot," she smiled. "Do you have a name?" "Yes, I've had one all my life. Well, not all my life, not for the first 2 weeks. At first my parents couldn't decide what to call me." "What is it?" she asked patiently. "Jack," Diggs said. "Jack Winston Claremont Digby. My friends call me Diggs." Diggs smiled. He was starting to feel more like himself now. "So what's your name? What's your name?" "Rapunzel. Rapunzel Adnevik." Diggs blinked. What a name. Wow. "Okay, what do your friends call you?" "Rap." "Princess, usually. My full name is Princess Rapunzel Adnevik. I'm a member of the Norwegian royal family. When we met, you should probably have bowed, but it's not a big deal." "Oh, sorry," Diggs spluttered. "I didn't realise." He bowed. She shook her head. "No, more bowy than that. That was more a bow for a lady or a duchess." "Was it? Oh, sorry. You've really got a bend at the waist. Aim for 45 degrees. Diggs pictured his protractor and bowed again, this time much more bowily. "Is that better?" "Way better." Diggs grinned, pleased he got the hang of bowing and was no longer making an idiot of himself.
Yeah.
Right, they board the flying saucer, the flying saucer takes off and it crashes, and they get taken into Area 51 because they're presumed to be two aliens, and they had this adventure in Area 51, and all sorts was there. Loch Ness Monster was there, and all sorts. And so I sent this TV series to various production companies, and the first production company said, "No one's interested in TV series with kids in, despite Harry Potter."
Right.
And then the other production company said, "If you turn this into a book, you could probably get it made into a TV series later." And then Red Dwarf 10 came along and nothing happened and blah, blah, blah. And then one day I was thinking, what should I do? And I thought, I'll take that idea and I'll turn it into a novel. I'll write this novel about the two kids and the UFO. So I thought, where can the UFO land? A lot of kids' stories are set in orphanages. Oh, so it could land in an orphanage. No, the orphanage is too many people in an orphanage. How about there's an island where the worst behaved kids are sent and it's quite quiet, and the UFO could start there, could crash there. So that was my start. So I'd already written Diggs and Cav in this TV series that was never made. So I knew them, and then I wrote them again when they were in their early 20s with the same idea, but just they were older. And so this time, I've written them when they were 9, when they were 23. I was now writing them when they were 13. And that was the start. So I started to write this thing and got carried away with the orphanage. and what fun I was having giving them merits and demerits. And I was telling my son, who's a comedy writer, the idea, and he said, forget the UFO. No one's interested in your UFO. Just make it all about the island, and if there's smugglers and hidden tunnels when they get there and all that good stuff, said if I was a kid, I would definitely read it. And that's what happened. One day I cut 40,000 words from the book.
By the time the gang get to Sin Bin Island,
Yes.
it feels like their roles are quite similar to the gang in Red Dwarf.
No, it's interesting you should say that. So, it's a gang of 4, which is very similar to Red Dwarf.
And you've got Amber, who's exposition, that's correct.
And you've got Amber as exposition, so that's crime.
And you've got Noah, who's kind of, Diggs Lister is the protagonist, and Noah is kind of the counterpoint to him.
Yes, I would say is Diggs Lister.
So he's
Would
not,
you? Okay, all right. He's a good-hearted hero. Yeah, yeah. And Cav is.
there's a little bit of like fashion there, you know.
With so Cav's the cat.
That's tenuous, that one.
Yeah, I think
But
that one. No, I think there are some, and equally you could say the island, the loneliness of the island, and it's about, the core idea is about lonely people coming together and forming unlikely friendships and surviving and being successful as a team. And so you could argue that there's Red Dwarf and Sin Bin have that, share that.
So it wasn't intentional, that's just something that comes natural.
What was intentional was to have a gang of 4, which makes more sense on TV. The advantage of having a gang of 4 on TV is that you can split them up into 2 twos and tell 2 stories. But because in the novel with Diggs, it's a single character POV, you can't set them up and go without cheating. So you don't get the same advantage that you do in a TV series.
One of the things I love about both things is that you go into kind of worlds where it's usually quite gleamy and glamorous, and you see it with like so for those who are too young for Red Dwarf, Red Dwarf set on a rocket, but it's basically a bin lorry in space.
Yes, it's a bin lorry in space.
It's really scruffy,
Yeah.
and I love it when you get into the kind of the wizards bit. There's
right.
a great bit where you say, you go into this wizard like it's something from
Yes.
Hogwarts,
Yeah.
alembics and all these
Yeah.
things, but very dusty.
Yes.
Because why can't wizards afford dusters?
Yes, exactly.
What is going on?
Yeah, can't afford cleaners.
Can't afford cleaners.
Yeah, I remember, who was it? Wright wrote that book about MI6, MI5.
Peter Wright, yeah.
Peter Wright.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious that MI5 don't have cleaners.
In
They
case.
have to do their own cleaning.
Yeah.
And so this whole thing of, I want to join MI5 and be like James Bond, and then cut to doing the hoovering and doing the dusting.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So James Bond would be.
Yeah, he would be there dusting. Right,
Yeah,
excuse me,
definitely.
Q.
Yeah.
Hang on, I just got to finish this up.
My other favourite bit in that book is that Peter Wright sorts out that the people who are listening in on the Russian conversations, some of the transcripts are not very good, and he goes to talk to them and realises these are women who left Russia a long time ago and now are very old and quite deaf. It's not a technological issue.
No, at all. I know. It always makes me laugh, that stuff when it's really important and really serious, and then you just got the humanity of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that goes back to what you were
reduce it
saying about pirates at the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
Just trying to make a living.
Just trying to make a living. Yeah. Just trying to get some spice.
Yeah.
Salt's important.
Do we have a look? Oh, we've got one here at the back.
Do you have any advice to someone who wants to be an author when they grow up?
I think, and I'm sure Frank could give the same advice, is you've got to write black or white. You've got to get things down on paper. You've got to write and ideally finish what you write, no matter how long or short it is. That would be my advice. What about you, Frank?
I've just realised what I've been doing wrong all these years. Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the thing. And make sure you're enjoying it.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing. Walk away when you're not enjoying it and come back.
Yeah,
And remember that you're doing it because you enjoy it.
yeah,
Because it is a bit of a chore in the middle. And people don't, like, if you're training to run a marathon or play football or anything like that, you know that there's going to be days when it's rubbish and you've got to go and run along the bypass in the rain and everything. You've got to do that if you're going to run a good time, and if you're going to score a brilliant goal, you've got to have practiced scoring lots of rubbish ones.
yeah.
So when it's difficult and boring, that's part of the price. So, or learning to play a musical instrument as well, it's the same, isn't it? You've got to keep turning up and doing it, and in the hope that one day it'll be, or one day in a year it'll be worth doing.
Yeah, no, sure. And I think a lot of it is energy. I think a lot of comedy, and they say in the secret of comedy, great comedy is timing. I've always thought it's energy. You know, you've got to have energy for comedy.
You've got to be used to your own company. When you were talking about it, gangs and groups really create comedy. So when you were talking about Neil Simon and Woody Allen, they both watch on the shows.
Yes,
which is this dreamy thing of like, there's a room full of brilliantly funny people throwing ideas around. It's like, that just seemed like Camelot, amazing. You know, like, all these people throwing brilliant lines around, and like then you're in your room on your own, and it's like, this is not like that. No, and then you write gangs in books as well. It's like, but in the end, you're on your own.
Yes, no, that's absolutely right. That's so right. Yeah. You've got to like your own company, I guess.
We've got another one.
Okay.
Hiya. In Red Dwarf again, was it intentional to have the last human a Scouser?
No, not at all. At first, no. There was a TV series called Taxi, and there was a guy in there that had a wild time, should we put it subtly, and it was the same guy who was the mad professor in Back to the Future. And we were going for a much more slightly brain damaged, eccentric character. And we saw incredible actors, Alan Rickman, Hugh Laurie, kept coming, and none of them quite worked in the part. And then one day, Paul Jackson, the producer, said, "It's this guy, Craig Charles, the poet, Saturday Live, he wants to come in and read for the part." And I said, "Oh, right, I didn't know he was an actor." He said, "Oh, he's not, he's never acted before." So, he said, "Well, you won't get it, you won't get it." He said, "But just, because he keeps pestering me, just see him." And I went, "Fine." Then Craig came in and just, it was brilliant. And it was just like, there's Lister right there, end of. Yeah. So, and it was strange because at the time on television, there was a slight worry from my part. Everyone on television who was funny was a Scouser. It was Carla Lane, all those shows. There were so many. Michael Angelis, all sorts. And it was like, will it look like we've just hooked up to this, just put someone from Liverpool in it? Yeah. But anyway, we got over that really quite quickly because there was no, we didn't have a second choice. It was like, no, it's Craig. Yes, yeah.
What are the genres that you're interested in pursuing in the near future?
Well, I'm certainly writing more sin-bins, so I'm interested in that genre. I'm kind of 2/3 the way through a screenplay, which I'd love to finish, and I want to write plays as well. So those two really.
So there are going to be more sin-bins?
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I'm halfway through the second one, and hopefully there'll be at least several more.
I think it would be a treat if you finish with another region. Would you do that?
Right, I've got to choose something I'm doing from the book. This is going to be interesting.
I didn't want him, you just treated me like a Russian doll.
You gave me a whole 5 minutes, I remember.
You had your little Russian doll moment out there.
I'm reading a bit from a chapter which I've been told is well liked, and it's where, in order to save a friend going to Simbin Island, Diggs realises he's got to get more demerit points, or lashes as they're called at Simbin Island, than anyone ever has in a single day. And so he knows from the minute he gets up, he's got to behave absolutely terribly. It's called Delinquent Day. Diggs leapt out of bed the following morning, determined to misbehave. He got off to a flying start. He didn't make his bed, left his pyjamas on the floor, then went into the shower room and turned on all the taps. He looked in the mirror. Disappointingly, his hair wasn't too long, so there'd be no lashes there, but he got the idea to write "Death to All Teachers" on his forehead in red felt tip. He returned to his dorm and put on his school regulation issue shirt, tie and top coat, but wore his football shorts instead of his trousers, and one tennis sock and a football sock. As he was getting dressed, Derek Mildew, the geography and negotiation teacher, charged him. "Who's left all the taps running in the boys' changing room?" Diggs' arm shot up into the air. "Me, sir." 5 lashes. "Yes," Diggs said to himself. "Also, who's made a snowman out of toilet rolls using bottle caps for eyes and a toilet brush for its nose?" Diggs' arm shot up again. "Me, sir." Another 5 lashes. "Yes," said Diggs to himself again. "And what is that on your forehead? Death to all teachers, 5 more lashes. What a start. Just 65 more lashes to go." Mr. Mildew pointed. "And whose bed is not made and whose pyjamas are on the floor?" Diggs raised his hand again. "Mine and mine, Derek." "Don't call me Derek, Digby. It's Mr. Mildew or Sir." Another 5 lashes. Mr. Mildew wrote Diggs' lashes down in his lashes book and stormed off. Noah looked at Diggs nonplussed. "What are you doing?" "I'm trying to overtake Sprout and get the last place on Simbin Island." "Have you totally lost your mind? Why would you do that?" Noah whispered. "Teal's got a rare blood type. The only person around here who's got a blood type is Sprout. He can't go to Simbin Island. He has to be with Teela." "You would do that for me?" Sprout said, overhearing them. "I'm doing it for Teela. Thanks anyway." Diggs ran to breakfast, breaking the no running rule and the no walking across the lawn rule, and even the no laughing in the corridor in term time rule. He stood there and laughed himself stupid for nearly 2 minutes. But annoyingly, no teacher saw him, so all he got was a sore throat. When he got to breakfast, he sat with the Year 5s and didn't queue for his own breakfast. "Who doesn't want their sausages?" "I don't," said Sam Biggs. "Anyone not want their toast?" "I don't," Derek Furrick said. "Listen, I'm going to steal your sausages and your toast, and I want you to make a big fuss, okay?" "Why?" Biggs asked, perplexed. "I'm trying to get enough lashes to go on Simbin Island. Sprout needs to look after his sister, and I think he's one of the 4. Okay, everyone ready? Here I go." Diggs leaned across and stole the 2 sausages off Biggs's plate, made a sandwich out of them with fruit toast, and took a swig of Cedric Patterson's tea. "Hey, you stole my sausages. I didn't eat my toast. I didn't split my tea. What's going on?" Mr. Leary bounded over. "Digby stole my sausages, sir," Biggs pointed to his sausages plate. "And Digby stole my toaster. And look, some of my tea is missing," Cedric Patterson pointed into his cup. "Why are you even sitting here, Digby? You don't sit on the Year 5 table. Go and sit where you belong now."
Whoa. Doug, thanks so much.
Thank you.
you all for coming. Doug is going to be signing.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Frank. It's been an absolute
Okay.
pleasure and honour for you to be here tonight. Thank you.
Can we say one more big thank you to both Doug and Frank? Thank you. Okay. If everyone can just stay in their seats for a couple of minutes, we're going to get them settled at the signing table and then we'll call you over, okay?